All praises, all praises, all praises. Shalom and Barakatah to your Father Yahweh, Father of lights. Peace and power to the throne of King David. Peace and blessings to Yahweh Shai, the big brother and son of the kingdom, and peace and blessings to you out there. You know, I was reading in Isaiah chapter 5 about the woes, you know, and that the time was going to come that everything was going to be upside down. And we're living in those times, you know. I can guarantee you that pretty much anybody that's not in this truth right now that you talk to, that is in your family or on your job or wherever you at, I can guarantee you that they see things upside down. Their vision is blurred. Their perception is obscured. Because, see, being in this toxic environment, it affects your senses. It affects your ability to reason. It affects your ability to know the difference between right and wrong. This is how wicked this society is, and this is what it does. And what'll happen is, because you know the truth, and you're the only one that does, everybody that's around you, everybody that you talk to, they all have that marred and blurred vision of what they think is going on, and that's not what's happening. And by you being around that a lot, it starts to weaken your perception, if you let it. If you let it. You got to stay in the spirit, because if you don't, you'll start falling victim to that, and you'll succumb to that, and you'll start making moves based on that false reality. Pull your ass right on out of here. You'll start thinking this the way to go. No, it's taking too long. You know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back to what I used to do. I'm going to go back. This is not working. You know, this is not true. And your reality, that false reality, is going to pull you right back into it. See, you got to hold what you got. You know, you look at what's going on out here. Look at just in the last 7 to 10 years. Look at what's happened. When I was coming up as a youngster, you could have never told me they would have a bathroom with 3 people on it. You could have never told me that men would be dressing up as women one day, wearing stockings and high heels and shit, and mini skirts or whatever, with a full beard like mine, all right, arched eyebrows, a blouse on, trying to be a woman, going in a woman's bathroom. You could have never told me that there would be women that wear pants like men, shoes like men, haircuts like men, wearing sports bras to flatten out their damn titties, and walk around like they a man, taking growth hormones to grow facial hair. You could have never told me that. And you could have never told me that the United States government would back that. You could have never told me that there would be admirals in the U.S. Navy wearing high heels and they men. You could have never told me that. I even read a story about a Navy SEAL that went through the transformation to become a woman. Now, one thing I respected about this dude, he said, this is some bullshit and I should have never did it. He said, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. All right, my brother supported me, but I should have never did this. This was a mistake. See, the SEALs in the military are taught to take accountability. He said, I fucked myself up with this. I'm a man. I don't want to be this way, but I did it. He owned up to it. You know what I'm saying? But this world is toxic as hell. Right? I have to really think about why I get a lot of hate. You know why I get a lot of hate here? Well, not here with y'all, but see, they got what they call toxic masculinity. All right? I'm a masculine man. I'm not no faggot. I'm not feminine. It's been so long since society has seen men be men that when they see it, they don't like it. Women don't like it. And I ain't gonna say all women, but most women nowadays, they don't want no masculine man. They want a simp. They want a fucking yes man, one that's gonna sit here and cater to all their needs no matter what. That's why they don't like Trump. Trump is trying to set things back in order, and these people are fighting mad. And who is it? It's the fucking Democrats. It's the fucking Democrats trying to keep this shit this way. This is how all this shit is spread into child pornography, pedophilia, them kidnapping kids and having sex with them and raping them and all that shit, because that's what that it don't stop there. All right. That's why in Leviticus chapter 19, he said, man shall not lay with mankind as with womankind, right? Well, the Most High said that for a reason, because that's bad enough. Two dicks don't stick, two cocks don't rock. All right? It ain't supposed to be no two men finding each other sexually attracted. That's some sick ass shit, man. But see, we was taught all that when we got here. And the Most High put us into this position to show us how wrong it is. And a lot of Judah has fell victim to that. All right? They've been given over to it, because that's what they used to want. The Most High wasn't enough for them. Wasn't enough. So what he did was he said, okay, you don't want to keep me in your knowledge? I'm going to let them have you. I'm going to let them have all of you. So he refers to Judah as Sodom and Egypt. And what do we have? I heard a report about P. Diddy, man. They said he had to have knee surgery. I wonder why. Now, his knees was fine when he went in there. Ain't no telling what them inmates doing to his ass in there. See, he getting the freak offs now that he don't want. They probably running up in his ass in there. You know? I mean, it's what it is. But see, this world is upside down, man. Let me get a precept. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13, it says, so my people will go into exile far away, because they do not know me. Those who are great and honored will starve, and the common people will die of thirst. The grave is licking its lips. Now, I'm reading the New Living Translation. You know what? Let me click over to the KJV. Starting at verse 13. Let's go off top. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude are dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell have enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. So he's saying all these proud people that are puffed up, they're going to descend into hell. Verse 15, and the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. That's what's going on right now. See? But what he meant when he said this is that Judah was going to be brought down low. And that's what's happened. But right now, because the Most High is turning these curses, it's these heathens that's getting it. But this is what happened to Judah as a whole. Verse 16, but the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and power that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. See, the Most High, all right, is being exalted in this time of judgment. See, because things are being brought back to where they're supposed to be. Verse 17, then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall the strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope. New Living Translation in verse 18. What sorrow for those who drag their sins behind them with ropes made of lies, who drag wickedness behind them like a cart. See, some people are attached to their wickedness. They can't let it go. The old shit that they supposed to sanctify themselves from, they won't do it. They hold on to the same old shit. Okay? And it ends up destroying them. Verse 19. They that say, Let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Look at verse 19 in New Living Translation. They even mock the power and say, hurry up and do something. We want to see what you can do. Let the Holy One of Israel carry out his plan, for we want to know what it is. See, those are the people, those are the Judites that are just here to see what the fuck they can get. See what I'm saying? He says, they even mock the power. That's a form of mockery when you just here to see what the Most High gonna do, but you don't really believe. You don't really believe it until he do it. All right, let me fold my arms and let me see what he's gonna do. Do something for us, Lord. Let's see what you got. Like he on a fucking like he's on a he gotta prove something to and he ain't gotta prove shit. He gonna prove it when your ass get put to death. You'll believe it then. Verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink. That's these niggas always sitting back trying to, brag about how much alcohol they can hold. Just a fucking drunk, I remember a long time ago, went to a concert in Vegas. I was a big Public Enemy fan. That's like one of my favorite groups. I love Public Enemy, man. They were really, back in the 80s, man, wasn't no truth. We didn't even know the fuck we was, but I like Public Enemy because at least they were trying to, put black folks on the same line. You know what I mean? Nobody ever dissed Public Enemy, never got no rap beef, none of that. They were above all of that shit. They was a whole different breed. That's why I love them so much. But during that concert, Naughty by Nature was there, and Tretch got on the goddamn stage, and he had a big ass gallon of Hennessy. Before he started rapping, he twisted that cap off and turned that damn bottle up, man. I mean, he drank the entire bottle of Hennessy, a fucking gallon. And I was like, how the fuck did he do that shit? He's still alive, but that's fucking cognac, all right? That's that yak. Yeah, I could sip on me a glass, I had to cut mine with a little Sprite or something like that. Drinking that shit straight. Hey, you can call me what you want. All right. I like my liver. Right. But the thing is, he drank the whole thing, man. All right. Look what the scripture says. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Right? New Living Translation. What sorrow for those who are heroes at drinking wine and boast about all the alcohol that they can hold. They take bribes to let the wicked go free, and they punish the innocent. That's all that this fucking government has been about, man. That's all it's been about. And by us being here all this time, right? We've become contaminated. Our men have become contaminated. But what I do see a lot on TikTok is a lot of men are trying to heal. Right now, what I'm seeing, especially in society, men, especially so-called black men, have pulled back from women now. They ain't no faggots or nothing like that, but they're trying to heal each other through communication. That's one thing social media did. Now the thing is, now you're in another extreme. The men now have totally pulled back from black women, because black women in turn have bashed black men for the longest. Not saying that the black women ain't went through things, because there been some men out there that have just not been living up to standard. All right? But see, that was all done because of this goddamn cracker. See, when they pulled the man out the house, a man is designed to to provide for his family and go out there. That's what gives him purpose. So when the welfare came along, they kicked the man out the house. He didn't know what to do with himself. So what he started doing? Start being a player. Start being out here trying to, be with a bunch of women and stuff. And then because he was out there, he lost the urge to be a family man and take care of his family. That's where you start. You didn't have no players back in the early 1900s and all that. If you did, they were far and in between. Most men were family men that wanted to raise a family, have children, and have a legacy. But when this fucking cracker got involved, he took that away. That's what turned men into players and everything. And then after that, when the man got put out the house, the women got used to not having the man around. So because the man ain't around, the women started losing they couldn't hear the voice of a man anymore. It became alien to them. And once it became alien, now when men try to talk to a woman and tell her what she should do, or he tries to lead her, I don't need you telling me nothing. So they put a wall up in between us. This is why in this body, all right, that had to be dealt with, and it's still being dealt with right now. Still being dealt with. See, men here, I hold these men accountable. Every last one of them. You're going to be a man in here. You ain't no toxic man. You ain't no toxic masculine man. You're just a masculine man. All right? Every man in here is going to lead his house. Every man in here is going to be equipped to know what thus saith the Lord, so that he can properly lead his house and raise children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. That's what's going to happen here. Can't say the whole world ain't trying to, right? That's why there's a royal house, all right? There's a royal house with a leader that's going to hold you accountable every time. And there's been countless men in here they come to me and they ask this, they ask advice or whatever, and I tell them if they wrong. No, you fucked up on that. Yeah, you fucked up on that, right? If an Aquaf got a point and he slipping in his leadership, he got to come up from that. Ain't no getting mad, ain't no acting like a bitch. You fucked up, all right? That's like, because see, we don't have that out here, all right? Now, if you look out in the world, Kevin Samuels, he died. I don't know if they had it in for it. I mean, I know a lot of women didn't like him because he held them accountable, but he held men accountable too. But see, the Most High don't want nobody getting shit together out there. Ultimately, it was the Most High took Kevin Samuels out. Even though he had some good shit, he opened brothers' eyes to a lot of shit, man, a lot. But the Most High, like, I ain't letting Kevin Samuels save y'all. Y'all stay y'all way. You gonna do it my way or no way. Now in here, I can say the same shit Kevin Samuels say. The Most High ain't finna kill me because it's gonna be used to build the kingdom. Bible ain't gonna, the Most High said he ain't gonna let nobody build no kingdom outside of his, because that ain't the way it go. Now in here, I could talk that shit because we building the kingdom of heaven here. We are building the Lord's kingdom. So in the Lord's kingdom, there must be what? Decency and order. So that means that the men in here have to be decently and in order. And when the men are decently and in order, it will line up the women to be decently and in order. That's why it doesn't work, all right, in these church houses, because the church houses are not for the Lord. Those are individual houses that pastors try to build on themselves. But here, you under one shepherd. Now, when the men are in line, when the men are doing what they're supposed to do, when the men are living up to the standard of the scriptures, all right, when the men have their own relationship with the Father, then and only then are they qualified to lead an Aquaf, a princess, or prophetess, right? It's the only time. And they got some brothers in here, some are more ready than others. And some brothers have come forward to me and told me, say, hey, you know what? I was out there in the world, I was with a lot of women and everything. Yeah, but How many of those women did that brother take time to really get to know a woman for a woman? All right, not many. All right, let me get a precept. This is 1 Peter 3:7. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. How many brothers in here did that? See, they got brothers in the world. Oh yeah, man, some of them been with 50, 100, 200 women, right? Throughout their lifetime, one after the other. Bam, 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 bam. But that's like going to 200 car lots and just taking the car off that lot and test driving it and bringing it back. You never got the car. You never bought it. You never paid for it. You never spent any time with it to get to know it. All right. You're not familiar with it. So you really have no experience with a woman if that's the case. All right. I can't say that about myself because I ain't been single in over 30 years. All right. I was with somebody for, 8 years, 7, 8 years. Then after that, I was married to the gorilla for 10. And now with me here, I got 18 years in. So you do the math. So I spent an extensive amount of time, all right, being with a woman to understand how they operate. All right. I've had to go to the school of hard knocks. All right. So there's a lot of these brothers that haven't had to do that. And then when it comes to some of you aquath in here, right? Some of y'all have gotten men that were raised in this toxic society where men are real feminine. All right. They're emotional. They're not logical. A man's supposed to be logical. Women are loyal to their feelings. Men are loyal to logic. Real men are. But in this society, this fucking cracker even was victorious on that. He made our men so emotional, right? They get hurt over the simplest things, and they don't they lose their logical perspective to view things in a masculine way. So that's another thing. All right. Some of these brothers in here, I done heard them talking. Yeah, man, yeah, I think I'm gonna start off with about maybe 4 wives. Oh, really? You ain't starting out with one till you get yourself together, because that means you're taking it lightly. You just think you collect them like narrow-laters. No. See, you want to get to know each one of them. What makes her tick? They all different. What does she like? What does she don't like? You know? And it takes time to do that. You know, this is what I kind of wanted for some of the brothers in here, if they would have got them a princess, you know, was for them to get to know her on this side, so that when we did cross over, you'd have at least have one that you know. You know what I mean? But it just didn't pan out that way. Some of them that tried it, either he was fucked up or she was fucked up, and she had an ulterior motive. See, now when it comes to the aquath in here, a lot of y'all, you done been promiscuous. It's hard for you to pair bond with a man because you done had so many of them. So your ability to bond with them, you always looking for the next best thing instead of investing in what you have. So it's easy for you to skip around and move around because that's what you're used to doing. So that's y'all story, some of y'all. All right. Some of y'all wasn't raised to be wise. Most of you weren't. You were raised by a single mama that told you to get yours, get your money, you know, and don't depend on no man for nothing. Well, that ain't the way the kingdom worked, though, is it? Right? Because see, where we headed, you're gonna have to depend on that man. All right? You're gonna have to depend on him. So what you gonna do then? What's mama's or big mama's advice gonna be then? See, the time is coming when you're gonna need a man, and you're gonna need a man of the Lord. See, even a regular man ain't gonna be able to take care of you. All right? Let me get a precept. Isaiah chapter 3. This is where we headed. And y'all done heard me say it before. Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate, and shall sit up on the ground. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So the Most High goes against what Big Mama told you, because he's saying if you don't have a man, you're going to suffer reproach. Some of y'all got to come out that mindset. See? So everything right now is upside down, and it's going to take about a good 20 to 25 years to root that out. You're going to have to raise a whole new crop of little children that raise up and be raised in the fear and admonition of the Lord. We're going to teach these little girls coming up, these little fat baby girls right now, they're going to be beautiful women one day. We're going to teach them that you do need a man. We're going to teach them that you can depend on a man. And we're going to teach the little boys to grow up and be men that these women can depend on. We're going to bridge the gap. We're going to seal up the breaches. But it's only going to be those that are serious and those that are spiritually mature enough to do things the way the Most High said. All right? You women out there having a hard time thinking about sharing a man, you better get over that shit, because it's coming. It ain't about your program. It's about the Most High's program. All right? And he don't give a fuck what you think, because the kingdom cannot move forward with a bunch of single women running around with no husband and no man to depend on to lead them and guide them. It ain't all about no fucking sex. It's about leadership. It's about that man being involved in the lives of these women to lead them in the right way so that they have a covering. A man is a covering to the women. See? But this society, they didn't teach that. Do you know why they made monogamy? They lied on the Bible and made monogamy. It was to keep, number one, to keep us from multiplying and to make sure that we got the epidemic like we got now. A bunch of women out there with no man running rampant. What did the scripture say in the Apocrypha? It says, give the water no passage. Well, how much water is running around right now, all right, with no boundaries? Millions of women with no man, and look at them. They are a hot mess. Got to fix that. Things are upside down. That's why these women so masculine, right? They masculine as hell because they've had to fill in where there was no man. And then what they did was when they took the man out of the house, they taught us, they taught y'all, they broke y'all up from being able to communicate with your men. This is what women are saying that now, black women. We don't need our men. Black woman is the only woman on the planet that disrespects her men because it was designed that way. See? They didn't want us being able to communicate. They want to break up the family. So this is why in here, all right, if you got a king, you're supposed to listen to him and do what he tell you. You just got to be sure he's following the Most High. This is why y'all got to study. You got to read for yourself. You got to have the word in you to know that he's leading you the right way so that your spirit can agree with what he's teaching you. But some of y'all out here, you got your head in the clouds, you got your head on a bunch of bullcorn out here, and you not edifying yourself. That's how church pastors and shit and church parishioners and all that get in the drawers of these dumbass women in the church house. Number one, they don't have the truth, but all they do, they go on what he tell them. Yes, you're supposed to listen to your king, but you're supposed to be getting some time in for yourself to know that you're being led the right way. So, got a lot of work to do, brothers, sisters, but we're going to get there, all right? But just know that things are not the way they're supposed to be, but they will be fixed, and we're going to get things turned right side up, all right? Well, I pray that this message blessed you. More on the way. Barakatah to the Father of lights, peace and power. To Yahweh Shai, peace and power to the throne of King David, and peace and blessings to you out there. More on the way. This is your King and Shepherd, and I'm out. Shalom.